Hello, this is Sarah Braasch. Welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to read to you in parts my medium essay, which is a response to the James Hatch essay, My Semester with the Snowflakes, and my essay is called My 6 Years at Yale with the Woke Intersectional Feminists and How They Tried to Destroy Me. So I'm going to read it in parts because it is quite long. So this is going to be part 1. And before I get started, I just wanted to thank everyone for their support and kind words and donations. Please donate to my legal fund. I'll put my PayPal, me, and GoFundMe links below so that I can sue Yale and the entire moral outrage industry for what they did. And also, please subscribe to my YouTube channel. I'm getting closer and closer to being able to monetize it. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. So, I want to start off by saying that James Hatch, the 52-year-old Navy SEAL and college freshman at Yale, who traverses campus with his support animal due to his PTSD, the author of the recent viral essay, My Semester with the Snowflakes, seems like an absolutely lovely man. This response to his essay is not intended as a criticism of him in any way, shape, or form. I wish him nothing but the best in his studies. I just think it's important for people to understand that his representation of Yale University as some kind of ideological or viewpoint diversity utopia was not at all my experience of Yale during the six years that I have spent as a PhD candidate in philosophy. In fact, his representation of Yale and of so-called safe spaces at Yale is the antithesis of my experience thereof. I am, of course, the Sarah Braasch, the purported villain of the living or napping while black incident at Yale. And now I am in the midst of what I'm sure will ultimately be a decade-long fight to save my life and lifelong human and civil rights, academic and legal careers. In truth, I am the entirely innocent victim of the living or napping while black hate crime hoax at Yale, and the Yale administration and police were complicit. The Yale administration and police are fighting the release of the Yale police body camera footage from May 8th, 2018, which exposes them as liars. They told disgusting lies about me to cover up their own wrongdoing, and they didn't care that they were destroying and endangering the life and career of an entirely innocent and lifelong human and civil rights licensed attorney activist and Yale graduate student. Yale Police Chief Rennell Higgins continued to tell these disgusting lies about me on November 4th, 2019 in downtown Hartford, Connecticut at the Connecticut Freedom of Information Act Commission hearing. It shocked me to my core and broke my heart. Briefs are being submitted by both sides, which are due in mid-January 2020, and I am hopeful that the Connecticut Freedom of Information Act Commission hearing officer will decide in my favor shortly thereafter, so that I may continue my quest to not only save my life and career, but to restore civil liberties, including due process and free speech, at Yale and at college and university campuses across the U.S. and everywhere. I will never stop fighting for justice for everyone who has been falsely accused, cyber-mobbed, and defamed, especially for those who have already lost their lives because they couldn't handle the pain. I've been working on my Saving the World project, my Yale PhD Philosophy of Law and Language dissertation, for over a decade, and now I don't know if I'll have a chance to complete it. I'm probably going to have to spend the next decade saving my life and career after having been vilified on a global scale as something akin to a genocidal villain by Yale, the ACLU, the New York Times, CNN, MSNBC, NBC News, The View, The Washington Post, GMA, and the list just goes on and on and on. I think you would be hard-pressed to find a more complete and more wrongful devastation of an innocent nobody's life. My life was burned in grotesque effigy around the world as if I were some murderous Pol Pot-like despot, when in fact I was living like a hermit at the top of a tower in my isolated dorm room on Yale's campus, and I wished for nothing more than to be left alone and in peace to complete my Saving the World project. My dissertation, The Statics and Mechanics of Social Institutions, is an analysis of how to minimize the oppression inherent to how aggregations of quasi-rational human beings construct their societies. I had dedicated my life to fighting oppression in all of its many forms. My reclusive lifestyle was not only the product of my scholastic devotion, but also was an arrangement especially crafted for me by Yale Housing because of my mental health disabilities, including severe PTSD, following a life of egregious trauma and violence. Despite this being known to Yale, they stood by and did nothing, as I was being terrorized in my isolated dorm room and stalked across campus for months. In point of fact, the Yale administration and police assisted my tormentors in terrorizing me. It could not have been more obvious that the video that Lolata Siambola took of me on May 8, 2018, standing in the threshold of my own isolated dorm room without my knowledge or consent, which was a gross violation of my privacy, was intended to publicly shame me for my mental health disabilities. The entire moral outrage industry chose to ignore this fact in order to exploit the apex of the Living While Black movement, and the ACLU went so far as to edit the video to obscure this point. They were not the only ones who did so. I think I will stop there for part 1, and then I will begin right there at that point for part 2. Thank you so much for watching, and please watch the rest of the parts of my essay. And please donate below. I have my PayPal, me, and GoFundMe links so that you can donate to my legal fund. Thank you, and please subscribe to my YouTube channel. All right, I'll talk to you soon. Bye.